Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here. Today we're going to play some Legacy Shardless BUG. Wait, computer, enhance. We're allowed to just play straight up Shardless BUG in Modern now? Just with a slightly worse mana base? Damn it, I'm in. We're playing Modern Shardless BUG. Shardless Agent just got printed in Modern Horizons 2, which means that it is now Modern legal. And basically, the entirety of Shardless BUG, sans like Deathrite Shaman, is legal. And so I'm excited to give this a go. In case you're not familiar with the general archetype, the idea is that you try to cascade into a free spell, and then you get to cast it without paying the whole suspend cost. So you can cascade into an Ancestral, or into 8 power worth of rhinos. And that's been a lot of fun in Legacy the few times that I've done it. I mashed together a couple of Shardless BUG lists that I saw floating online. Shout outs to what is it, Groovy Hoovy is his handle, I think. I should double check that. Yeah, Groovy Hoovy, Dylan Hoovy, for giving me a bunch of the ideas. Overall, I'm really excited to try Break the Ice. I think this card is really powerful. It destroys target land or snow-covered... Well, it destroys target snow land or a land that could produce colorless. And basically, we're going to use that to just absolutely crap on Tron decks. And if we can overload it, we can destroy all of our opponent's lands, which is super, super sick. This card is disgusting endgame versus that deck. Overall, we just have a lot of overall good cards. Drown in the Loch is sort of a neat card. It's a card that you can cascade into, and if you do, you just destroy a creature. And if you don't, it can just be a counterspell that you hold in hand. The original list that I was basing this on had a couple of Assassin's Trophies, and I think one more Abrupt Decay, and I subbed those. Another one of the lists I was looking at had some Bobs here. I wanted to add in Crashing Footfalls. I think that card's good and worth at least one copy, if not more. It's just another turn 1 play, something you can do on the turns where you don't have a lot of mana, and it's absolutely sick to Shardless Agent into. Though we don't have Brainstorm to set up Shardless Agent, we do have good old Jace, Mind Sculptor. There is one Watery Grave that didn't quite make it onto the screen here. Otherwise, the mana base I think is pretty solid. We'll see. We need 2 swamps for sure because we want to be casting Break the Ice, so we want to have access to black early. I'm excited to see how Modern feels. Right now, Modern is so incredibly wide open because of Modern Horizons 2. If you like this Modern content, please throw me a like. It means a lot. I've been branching out. I'm going to try to play some more Modern and Vintage and non-Legacy formats. And as long as these videos are successful, I'll keep making them. And if you really have something cool and spicy for Modern, my donation information is in the video description, as is this deck list if you want to try it out. All right, let's battle. All right, I'm going to be keeping my opening hand. My opponent has revealed a Gigantha. I don't know exactly what that means. Okay. Inquisition or Ancestral. This does not look like a fair card. If I don't play Ancestral now, I'm probably not playing Ancestral for a long time. The same is true of this Inquisition. Playing Darkslake Shores this turn, that's happening. I think I'm going to Inquisition because that'll grow the Tarmogoyf. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. This is a very strange build of Infect, though. Break the Ices that I have in the sideboard will be kind of cool. On land. You? Probably you. I'm thinking if there's any world where I want to suspend Ancestral. Probably not. I need to clock my opponent. That's very important right now because I'm not very good at interacting with Inkmoth Nexus specifically. Yep. Yeah, this is the sort of thing that I mean. I have a couple cards here that just don't really do what I need them to do here. I guess I'll Shardless Agent, spin the wheel, maybe hit some rhinos, get a sweet clock. Lily's not insane either, but my opponent has at least one more land that they can just play. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll take the vines. That represents damage. The others don't represent damage. I have my opponent on a 3-turn clock. They have me on maybe a similar clock. A little hard to tell. Yeah. A little bit faster there. That was kind of a savage top deck. I'm dead next turn unless I can do something that deals with this Ink Moth. Alright, well I've got an out that I can play to, but it requires my opponent to do something kind of weird. Requires them to discard Apostle's Blessing here. I don't think they'll do. Yeah. I've almost got them low enough on life where they can't tap the Horizon Canopies. I needed one more attack. Womp, 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 womp. Alright, what do we have for Infect? For sorcery speed? You're an instant. You don't hit Inkmoth. Phyrexian is super sick to name, though. Alright. Let's assume that I bring in some number of these cards. Maybe not the entire playset of Break the Ice. Let's figure out what I don't want. This isn't really the Scavenging Ooze matchup. And Jace is pretty darn slow here. I probably want to trim these. Maybe I bring in about 2 of those. Maybe I trim on these. Trim on this. And then I don't know. Like, I want some number of Break the Ice for Inkmoth. I think that's important. But I'm also really heavy on removal spells right now. Maybe that means I just cut an expensive removal spell. This one's sorcery speed and can be played around to some extent. Hand's okay. I will keep this and suspend Ancestral on one, intending to Thoughtseize on two. I just have so many removal spells that it's just so incredibly likely that I'll find one if my opponent plays a turn 1 creature that I think this is okay. Alright. Double. Oh, I haven't seen some of these cards in a very long time. I guess I take the pump spell. All these. And then take the other pump spell? Question mark, question mark, question mark. This gives trample. I think I like taking that now. Pendelhaven here is pretty good against my Shardless Agent. And I think I'm just supposed to spin the wheels on Shardless Agent rather than just kill one of these two. I don't think that gets me very far. Alright, well, I'll take the thing that gives trample again. So I will go ahead and block here, because this will force my opponent to tap Pendelhaven, and then I can go for the throw at one of these creatures. Nice. Alright, so I went Hellbent just in time to have Ancestral coming off, which is about perfect. Neat. Target me. Oh, those cards are good. Okay, so let's Fatal Push. Destroy the Infect creature. I think I go ahead and escalate Collective Brutality. I'll take an instant or sorcery and kill a creature. Target opponent. Target creature. Black, 1. I don't think it matters too much which one of these I discard. I have black, black, I have blue, blue, I have green, green. I went through those cards very quickly. I guess I can just take a dual land here. There's very little reason not to when you're playing against Infect. I couldn't remember the difference between Cathedral of War and the one from Scars of Mirrodin. Um, that one gives attacking creatures +1/+0, but if you hit the person, you get to take it back or something approximately like that. Making sure I wasn't about to get a free land. Oh no, I have the spinning wheel of death. Or my opponent is just waiting. Okay, they're back. I mean, that's not bad. I think I'm the beatdown still here. I don't really want to be the beatdown. I want to be the control, but I think I have to be attacking. My opponent might just block. Slows down my clock significantly. If there's a couple of, yeah. So they'll Pendelhaven it. And then when it dies, they put another counter on it. They'll suspend another one of these. Pass the turn. I don't want to play out this land. Sure. Apostle's Blessing is still available. Okay, so now if I attack a 2/3 Tarmogoyf, I'll have a 2/3 creature, mine will die. Now I'm on defense. Excuse me, theirs won't die. No Pendelhaven activation is a little interesting. I jumping in front of the bus. I guess I'm jumping in front of the bus, right? Like they missed their Pendelhaven chance, so I can actually kill this. Or force them to use a spell because they didn't use their Pendelhaven. Not that one. I want this one. Alright, that was a Gigantha in hand. Gigantha is a reason to not go super crazy with removal. Or sorry, life loss off my own lands. They're just going to hit me for 2 here and leave up Apostle's Blessing. Sure. I need to draw something this turn to help keep me alive the next turn. I'll do this on their turn. A Fatal Push this here. No, I'll wait. That's fine. Now I get a chance to reload with Ancestral and hopefully find 2 answers. Because it's officially I am scared time. Oh, baby. Now, in case you're not familiar with why I'm so happy, there was an errata, and this is a Phyrexian, and this is a Phyrexian now. So Plague Engineer is just batshit insane on this board. And then the following turn, I can overload, break the ice. This is just disgustingly good. There is a world where I'm supposed to just break the ice, the Inkmoth Nexus this turn, and just destroy that, so there's no possibility of, like, say, a Dismember sort of card, killing Plague Engineer, and then I die. Yeah, and maybe I should just do that. I don't think our opponent is happy. Phyrexian. Yeah, I'm not going to get cute and wait for the value of destroying one more card. This also just keeps them further away from something like a Gigantha as well. My opponent immediately asked, "Where did you get those cards?" They are looking to get them as well. I don't blame them. All right, so now I need to do this song and dance again. Given how good the Inkbond Nexus was there, I think on the draw I'm going to sideboard 2 more Break the Ice. Necropedes are kind of weird. To make my Tarmogoyfs and Shardless agents a little bit worse, but I don't think I can board out either one of those. Supposed to go down on some discard on the draw. That might make sense since I have to just play more to the board. But it's so nice to just, like, take a protection spell and then actually being able to kill something. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Or maybe I'll do it lightly. Maybe I'll do it lightly. So my hand has no removal spells, but it has a turn 1 play, a turn 2 play, a turn 3 play, 2 of which are likely disruptive. I think I go ahead and keep this hand. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. Could be wrong. Like, Infect is really aggressive, but I also just have, I don't know, 15 plus removal spells in my deck. I'm very likely to hit something that's relevant in my draw steps too. Okay, my opponent is back. They literally stopped playing the match to go buy some cards once they figured out some stuff was in stock. Not even mad. I respect the hustle. That's even better than what I was going to do. Facial Contortion. Not too worried about that. I think I'll take their 1 Infect creature here. This is -3. So I already have Artifact Creature this, so Spatial Contortion already does not kill Tarmogoyf. That's cool. I'll have a removal spell. Admittedly, it's a little hard to use right now because binds, but whatever. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to fetch a green source here. I think I do. It also puts a land into the graveyard for Tarmogoyf. Breeding Pool. Ah, opponent was looking for ignoble hierarchs. That's like the Jund version of this. That's a great draw from them. Gigantha is in hand now. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage next turn. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Am I supposed to just drown in the lock the Llanowar thingy here? That might be correct, because that either gets this or gets vines. I probably need to do that. I'm not in a great spot. Did not expect this draw. I can also just hold up mana, but I could take a bajillion damage for holding up that mana. See what my opponent does here. The other thing I could have done is Shardless Agent and hope to hit one of my break the ices, because that's something that can destroy Ink Moth. It's a little risky. Because if things go wrong and I just hit, say, another Tarmogoyf, I am just dead on board. Alright, so my opponent did decide to use the vines. Oh, shoot, 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 shoot. Okay. Turn off auto yields. I will still get to play my land. Not a total idiot. I think I'll just play Swamp. I don't need to be bluffing green. I don't understand the upkeep timing of doing this. I'm sure there's a reason because they've done it multiple times. Must be some quirk of the modern format that I'm just not thinking of. I'm just going to pause here for a second. Maybe there's a world where I don't take all the damage this turn. That's not bad. Destroy the Llanowar Augur. Yeah. Okay. So let's do this with 2 modes. Yeah, 2 modes. So let's duress them and kill a creature. Choose you. Oh, it has to be the Hierarch, though. -2, -2. Maybe that's not good. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it better to just play Shardless Agent? Shardless Agent hits a removal spell the vast majority of the time anyway. They have 3, 4, 5, 6. They have non-lethal in play. Alright, let's Shardless Agent. I can get some pretty good things if I high roll well here. I don't know if this is correct. But it gives me the possibility of destroying Inkmoth Nexus, which is something that none of my other cards can do. And I know 2 of my opponent's 3 cards. Alright, I hit Ancestral, which could be an okay hit. We'll see. Alright, it's an amazing hit if I live for another turn. Alright, Blossoming Defense. Alright, so I know the exact contents of my opponent's hand. I am not dead on board. Opponent gets 2 looks at cards. I guess they could technically get 3. And then I have Collective Brutality plus Plague Engineer. Oh, I was about to say, did they lose for not allowing themselves to Pendelhaven? But that's not true. I get hit for 7, which exactly kills me the turn before I stabilized. That is a shame. GG's. Okay, I've kept my opening hand here. I think I have enough lands that I can just fetch a basic. Opponent mulliganed once, so double discard might be pretty tough. Ah. Let's take the Thought Scour. I don't care if my opponent rips apart my own hand, because there's not much there to rip apart. Plus, I have a bunch of value stuff later on, so like these Thought Seizes are not going to bother me in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, see, this is perfect. I play that and pass. I'll counter a Thought Seize if my opponent casts it to protect the Shardless Agent. I might go ahead and grab a Watery Grave here. And I have access to double blue for Jace later. Alright, I didn't randomly get Spell Pierce or something. Oh, did you draw another? Okay, that's fair. That was very good. This also not bad. I think I'm just going to let it get Fatal Pushed. If I'm trading 1-for-1 with my opponent, I like where I'm at. Like, a bunch of my top decks are Planeswalkers and Shardless Agents and things of that general nature. So I think this is fine. Oh. Why did you cast Expressive Iteration after playing your land, though? That seems like a bad play pattern. Alright, so opponent is on Shadow, and I have a shit ton of removal spells. That unfortunately is not one of them. It's also weird whether or not, like, I want to attack here. It makes my opponent's Death Shadow bigger, and I can't kill the Death Shadow right now. But if I don't attack, I'm just not getting value. Only one creature in the graveyard to eat. I think I'm going to go with not eat. Or sorry, not attack. I just need time. Alright, so my opponent gets a little bit of information. I don't think I am supposed to remove this. Actually, with Artifact in there, I'm just removing Creature for Tarmogoyf. This might be fine. But if it was going to remove two separate types, I probably wouldn't have done that. Yikes. Well, that would have been real good when there was only one of those. This is an expensive way to gain some life. Yikes. I was told there were removal spells in this deck. See if I can hit whatever this card is. Just a card off Bobble, so it's random. It just replaced itself, but it didn't replace itself in the way that I'm really looking to do, which is unfortunate. There is a world where my opponent can just go after me here and put me to 1. Just say, like, I have 2 creatures on board, you need 2 answers or you die. But I think you kill the Jace. They agree. I need basically Shardless Agent and a removal spell. I can high roll for a Fatal Push. I don't think that's correct. I don't know, maybe it is. Like, I can unsummon, then Jace trades, and then I still need to, like, hit Shardless Agent. Let's high roll. I think I'm just falling behind in this game. And if my opponent has any fetch land, they just get to kill me anyway. Yeah, let's high roll. Okay. I'll do this later. Now, my opponent could draw a disruption spell, and it will totally bite me in the butt. But this gives me some degree of agency. Alright, I am being attacked by both. See if they drew Stubborn Denial. Nope. See if they drew Street Wraith. Oh. Kermag Angler? I assume that's what the Thought Scours have been for. Okay, I can't use this card. I need to brainstorm, and the 2 cards down below the other land that I know that's there both have to be good. Or just 1 can be good. Armagoyf. I will cast that without paying its cost. So you're telling me there's a chance. I'm not even going to put this in play. Not going to potentially do a dumb. We're just going to hold that for brainstorm. Now I am dead to plenty of things here, but I have a real chance. Yep. Ugh. Okay, opponent found another Dust Shadow. That's not good for me. Sure. I think that's suboptimal timing, but it wins you the game anyway. Just make it, like, just do the attack after you know that it's safe. If this had been a drown in the lock or something like that, you would have been screwed. But here we are. Okay. These trade with everything. These trade with most things. That'll probably be about it. I don't think I want to fight the graveyard on, like, the spell bomb front. I think I just want to kill Angler once it's in play. Decay doesn't do that, but, like, Lily, Jace, Pulse, Drown all do. What's not good? I feel like most of my cards are pretty good. Like, Jace normally would have been quite good. It just didn't really work out in that exact situation. I could see going down on some disruption. That costs me life. Also see going down on one of these because they're slow, and one of these Ooze isn't overly impressive against a bunch of fatal pushes, but I want to have some number of creatures still in the deck. I have to reduce my opponent's life total to 0 somehow, after all. Okay, this first hand only has 1 mana. It has to go back. This hand is totally legit. I will keep this. I'll throw back the Jace the Mind Sculptor since it's my late game card here. Go with not Underground Sea. Let's go with Watery Grave off of this. And then suspend this Ancestral. That already puts me off to a really strong start versus discard. For sure. Okay. So this makes me think they have potentially Fatal Push, although this could just be them blowing life for Death Shadow. I still think I'm supposed to jam the Tarmogoyf and just trade card for card here. We get a basic now. Basic's okay. Could make casting a Liliana or Jace harder later. I think I like saving the life. Am I getting Fatal Pushed? Not getting Fatal Pushed. I wonder if I'll get to kill a Death Shadow with a Plague Engineer. Getting Drown in the Locked. Please draw a land. I turn so good if I draw a land. That's not a land, but that's still pretty sick. I don't have to worry about getting wastelanded into Oblivion in this format, which is cool. Otherwise, this would be the moment where my opponent could get to smell the blood in the water, just like I don't have it. I have a lot of stuff in the not too distant future. Yep. Also, yep. There's a decent chance I lose this to a counter spell here. Oh. Alright, land or removal spell are both amazing here. This is not really amazing. It's acceptable. Oh, that's odd. I do not want to get Ancestral Snapcaster Drown in the Locked next turn, so I am going to take that. I know my opponent doesn't have the land for it, but that would be kind of the current worst case scenario. Because if this Ancestral doesn't resolve and I don't like make a land drop and do something that interacts with this, it's very bad for me. Sure. Goodbye, Plague Engineer. I think. Well, I guess if they got the Lily in hand, the Plague Engineer isn't so bad. Oh, they have Garmeg Angler too. That's rough. Ancestral needs to do a lot of work. And there's the Lily on the other side of the table that will chip away at some of these cards that I get anyway. Okay, land though? Land though? This is rough. 15 cards deep, have seen 2 lands. Rhinos are coming. The Rhinos don't have haste. They have trample. Yep. Liliana is great currently. Fuck, come on. I would like decisions. I would like agency. Going to 1 this turn. And then I might have to chump block with the Rhino if I miss on land yet again. Yeah. I know. All right. Okay, I drew a land. That's very nice. I think I need to take out the thing that can continue to reduce my life total. We can deal with the Liliana afterwards. The Liliana pluses, I just take out one of these. Just getting drowned in the locked here. Cool. So now my opponent stacks this, I chump block, and then I have to kind of Shardless Agent and pray. I'll die to a top decked removal spell. Balance out my earlier luck. This is also probably the time where I will start drawing a billion lands. All right. Here we go. Abrupt Decay. Classic. Not not ideal, the RNG of this match. Not ideal. I don't know what my opponent is thinking about. If they have anything that interacts with Shardless Agent, I die. But if they have anything that interacts with Shardless Agent, they should have just used it on the Rhino token last turn, and I would have died as well there. So whatever. Okay. Live another turn. Maybe. No. Yep. Snapcaster, Drown in the Lock, or Snapcaster Fatal Push does it. They do have to fetch in order to enable the Fatal Push, but I'm gonna assume they know that. Alright. That was unfortunate. I don't think there was much I could have done there. Okay, I've kept a solid hand. I think I'm just gonna Ancestral on one. Looks like I might lean towards wanting black a little bit more with this hand. It feels like since I don't have the bonus land drops here, like I'm only hitting land drops 1 and 2 that I want to suspend this. So this deck is mana hungry. I don't have like Deathrite Shaman in order to like really go fast. Alright. Ooze is not a bad draw. I think this is double 1-drop rather than Tarmogoyf this turn. Okay. I think I'm just going to take the card advantage card here. And we'll blow up a critter. And I guess I need to keep this popped out. Without a prowess threat in play, I'm not super worried about what my opponent is bringing to the table. What if they just like slam a Sprite Dragon here? I'm super scared. That's fine. Oh, this is dope art. That's not bad. I think I just clear the board though. I think I just keep the board clear, and I'll win with whatever later. Opt an instant. I forget. It is an instant. Okay. So, I get Ancestral next turn. I'm taking 1,000,000,000 damage off my Pain land. I think I play this. My opponent can use 2 cards to get rid of it if they want. And then hopefully I Ancestral. Okay, they want. And hopefully I Ancestral, make some land drops, start gaining life with Scavenging Ooze. Ooh. That's a threat. That's a 4-turn clock. Gives them a little bit of selection. Me. Okay. Do I need to just Shardless Agent? That allows me to double spell next turn and maybe hit something that interacts with this. What hits are those exactly? Because Abrupt Decay is a miss right now. Nope, Modern. Habit, Modern. Fatal Push is also a miss. Yeah, okay. This is hard for me to deal with. Guess I will just Ooze then. And since it's neutral on life, I think I will just grab this now. Because then some of the smaller things, like Wild Slash, don't actually kill Ooze. Punished for not eating Lava Dart. Alright, I need to hit a removal spell. That's a removal spell. I'm dead to any spell, though. Could go to 5 and not play Tarmogoyf, and then I'm not dead to any spell. But I do need to kill my opponent. And I think the only way that I realistically kill my opponent by taking this line. This gives me 8 life. Sorry, this gives me 8 power in play. And if my opponent just whiffs and both of their cards are not spells, I have a chance of trying to crawl my way back in this. Yep. Okay, that triggers prowess, and I die. That's fine. But I just stumbled for a little while there. Like I have all the cards in the world, but not the ability to cast them. Okay. I like Collective Brutality a lot here. I like Go for the Throat. That's probably it. Plague Engineer is... Unless my opponent has something like Ragavan, in which case Plague Engineer is very good. Let's maybe go down on these. Down on this. Actually, I don't want Thoughtseize, I don't think. Respect my life total. Bring that back in. I don't think I want Spellbomb. This is fine. This has to be blue-black. So I'll grab Watery Grave with this, Suspend Ancestral, and go from there. My deck's feeling a little bit slow thus far. I wonder if I want, like, some hierarchs of some kind. I also legitimately might just be running a little bit cold in terms of variance. I've gotten stuck on 2 lands a good number of times throughout this league. Just duress. Probably just duress here. I'll hit something. Alright. So my opponent goes Sprite Dragon. And I can Lily 1. Or just Fatal Push it. Or just play Shardless Agent. All my lines are pretty good here. Shardless Agent kills this a good portion of the time. But I think I want the guarantee. If I draw a land, this also just means that I can play Shardless plus Fatal Push next turn, and that's quite strong. My opponent should Lava Dart Lily to kill it. Yep. Tarmogoyf will be a big boy when Tarmogoyf comes along. Yeah, that's fine. Let's protect my life total here. Actually, that was probably supposed to be Fatal Push over Go for the Throat because of the Stormwing entity. That was a mistake on my end. I'm not used to playing around that card. Okay. These are good. I want the Jace on the empty board. Honestly, I just want to clock my opponent. I think I'm just going to play Shardless Agent. I want to hit like a Tarmogoyf. I could play Jace Brainstorm and try to set up something sick with Shardless Agent for next turn. I think that's worth 2 life. Yep, that's not double blue. Well, we're holding up Fatal Push now. And also not playing Jace next turn. Oh, I hit Abrupt Decay, and there's no legal targets for it. Classic Shardless Agent. Alright. Cool. Yeah, so I should have played Shardless Agent and tapped Dark Slick Shores this turn. Alright, gotten a little lucky here. Imagine if I had a Jace, though. That's okay. I have 3 removal spells in hand. I have an Ancestral coming. I can cast the Jace next turn. I don't think my mistake is damning. It's bad, but not literal end of the world. Okay, I'm sitting on 5 cards and opponent has just had enough. That's fair. Same plan. Do I want more Plague Engineers on the draw just as another creature? A bunch of my opponent's stuff flies, so I think I'll run this back. Oh, sorry, I thought I stopped the recording. I did not stop the recording. Sure. I have Drown in the Lock and Scavenging Ooze to think about. So I think I will be getting a non-basic green-black. Play Verdant. I think I'll wait. I think I'll see if my opponent casts some stuff. Okay. Opponent has 1 land. Do I just want to clear the board, or do I want to play a 3/4 Tarmogoyf? I don't hate playing the 3/4 Tarmogoyf and then having access to multiple spells on the following turn. Gives my Shardless Agent more hits. It is a little awkward because then some Lightning Bolt type stuff could dampen the abilities of my Tarmogoyf. Gonna pass the turn. I'm gonna take a hit for 1 here. Then I hold Drown in the Lock open. Okay. Tarmogoyf plus Suspend. Seems good. I think I have to take damage here, because I want more green mana. Or Ooze. The other color doesn't matter too much. This gives me black, black, and green, green. So I can cast Lilies. Alright. Clock is in play. Card draw is on order. Nice. This will just be green, I think. Guess I can attack first. It's already a creature in the graveyard, so it's not that big of a deal. I'll hold up Brown in the lock. rather than eat the absolute maximum number of things off ooze. I think I just stopped that. It's just time walk. Yep. GG's. Alright, I'll be keeping this hand. Again, it only has 2 mana, and if I miss on the 3rd land, it kinda sucks, but I think I'm supposed to keep hands that look approximately like this. Start at 15 life. Welcome to Modern. Okay, I don't care about the stuff in my hand. I'm going to take the Thassa's Oracle. I am not 100% sure what my opponent's deck is or how it operates, so this looks like the mana base for an Ad Nauseam deck. It's a Tainted Pact deck. That could be how they're looking to win. I'm unsure. Oh, I do know that I don't have a lot of interaction with them. Let's play the clock and hope that I draw a land. I'm gonna like Shardless Agent into an Abrupt Decay, and it's gonna suck. In Legacy, most of the time when you cast a Shardless Agent, you're hitting like M or Brainstorm or Ponder or Preordain or something like that. And a lot of the times here, I'm hitting bricks. That said, I probably still cast it. It's roughly the same clock as Scavenging Ooze, and I might accidentally make a whole bunch of rhinos. I need more green. I need more blue. Thank you. Thank you, Shardless Agent. Please, I would like to do stuff. You would like to do stuff, that's fine. I can't interact with you. I am tapped out. This is Modern. Force of Negation doesn't even do anything on my own turn. Alright, I have a respectable clock, but I just have no interaction with combo right now. And that hasn't changed. It does really feel like I have the wrong side of the deck problem. Shardless Agent a huge portion of the time also just is not good unless your opponent is playing creatures or already has stuff on the board. Alright. I gonna like get Thoughtseize now? Nope. Still waiting. I will eat this. It moves a power from my Tarmogoyf to my Scavenging Ooze while giving me a life. I don't think that life is relevant. Alright, my opponent's dead next turn to my onboard creatures. I will Fate Seal them. I don't know what they're looking for. But I can take a look. No. You can keep the mana source. You already have 5 mana. If they couldn't go off last turn, that probably doesn't change things. So I assume we're done here. Okay. That just empty their library. They have a Thassa's Oracle in hand. Why wasn't this Thoughtseize cast first? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh, hold up. This is not how... Okay, how does the card work? Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card with that name, then put it into your hand. You lose 1 life for each of the exiled cards. I see. Why didn't this happen first? Alright, I'm a little confused about some of the particulars of what my opponent is doing. Naming Thassa's Oracle seems good. Duress effects seem fine. My removal spells do not seem good. Ashiok can do some weird things here, probably. Now, most of the time, Shardless Agent gets, with the exception of Drown in the Lock. I guess let's just fill out the deck list with these. Like, those are Plague Engineers or Go for the Throats. I don't think any of that really does anything. Again, not 100% sure on the particulars of my opponent's 75, though. So it could be I'm not planning appropriately. That doesn't really do anything. I would like Disruption. This is Disruption. Keep, get rid of the second Lily. Well, that is a lot of mana. Sure. Guessing. Oh, no. Sorry about that. I think I can wait a turn on this. Just suspend this turn. As long as the Lotus Blooms aren't coming off this turn, I think I can afford to wait one more turn. My opponent's probably not winning until they get 2 Black Lotuses on the same turn. I don't know, they might not even have the gas required to win after that, honestly. Russ, you can keep the pact. I will take your tutor. Yes. You have a Lotus. You have a more other Lotus. My Verdant Catacombs needs to get blue mana. In case I draw Jace. Looks like that's Breeding Pool then. Alright, I have too many zones that I care about here. Isn't pretty. This ooze is not great. I guess I'll eat stuff out of their graveyard later. But I really can't think of what this ooze actually does. I have instant and sorcery in my graveyard, so for Tarmogoyf-based reason, I can eat their stuff and it's fine. They don't have anything I don't. Oh, that seems like a very early concession, but okay. All right, final round. My hand looks great. Thank you. We have Ancestral into very baby-sized Tarmogoyf into Shardless Agent. Hopefully my opponent plays something that I want to interact with. Otherwise my Shardless Agent isn't actually all that great. The problem with, I think, how this deck is built. That's not bad. I think I'm just going to put a Glyph into play. Is that true? I think that's true. My opponent's playing a control deck. I want to start trading. Every counterspell I trade for makes it more likely that my Ancestral resolves a whole bunch of turns down the line. Alright, so we're maybe playing against some sort of Bant control deck. Let's trade again. 8 black. Watery Grave. Work towards Jace mana as well. Sure. Okay. I have approximately a billion basics in my deck. Oh. Okay. Might need them. I think I just need to do this. The Inquisition is cool and all, but I would really like to hit a Tarmogoyf or a draw 3, or basically not a removal spell. Corrupt Decay. No, I would not like to cast that. Thank you, 3 mana, 2/2. Gifts and Squee? What on earth? Alright, so Spell Bombs and Ashiok are coming in. What? Okay. I can Maelstrom Pulse that. That's fine. I will need a new green source. What a draw 3's for, right? Okay, found new green source. Needs to be breeding pool. Nope. Okay. Just to confirm, this is You Have Shroud. You Have Shroud. Okay, so I can't discard first in order to play around a Force of Negation. Regrowth. I will be taking Regrowth so that they can't get that back. If I had another green source, I would 100% have suspended the Crashing Footfalls to put more pressure in play, but beggars can't be choosers. Squeeze Solitary Confinement is hilarious. Alright, Abrupt Decay. I want to hold up Drown in the Lock on my opponent's turn. I'll just Drown in the Lock a life from the Loam so I don't lose another land. Guess that means this is all I'm doing this turn. Slow game is slow. This is a long league. I mean, to some extent, you expect that sort of thing when you sit down and play with a deck like Shardless BUG. Just doing this to keep my lands. It's not a glorious great play. It's what I've got. 3 of my cards are currently dead. Okay, that's very good. That's very, very good. Slow, but good. I've also just taken a shit ton of damage off my own lands here. Just because I have to keep getting them untapped in order to play my stuff. Now, there's no guarantee that my opponent can actually win, even if they just continue to strip my land. I believe this is the point where I've run out. Yes. Be a great turn to draw a Jace. I don't think this fetches anything. Breeding Pool, 2 Overgrown Tomb, 1 Watery Grave. Watery Grave, Breeding Pool, 2 Overgrown Tomb. This doesn't fetch anything. But my opponent doesn't need to know that. I don't know how many answers to some of the stuff my opponent is going to have. I also don't know if they have like tutors for copies of Solitary Confinement or what. Sure. Wonder if my opponent has something like a Shark Typhoon. neat. It's a Thirst for Knowledge clone. Thirst for Meaning. I haven't seen this one before. A Lesh Norn. Does that mean there is an Unburial Rites in this deck? Or a Gifts Ungiven package? To discard their Squee. I would really like a Drown in the Loch. Like, really. Doesn't seem like my opponent's mana base supports Uro. Oh wait, is that banned in this format? That might be banned in this format. Sure. Opponent's library is low. Not disgustingly so, but low. Does mean that the Ashiok will be absolutely awesome for post sideboard games. Sure. Rhino's next turn, though. Alright, Tarmogoyf is a dead draw. Note there are non-green... Sorry, there are green non-fetchable sources in the deck. So I am not just dead to something like Solitary Confinement. I have no idea who's winning right now. I think we get to know right here. If that resolves and those creatures just sit in play, I have a very, very, very good chance of just being able to beat something like a Solitary Confinement that sits in play. This doesn't resolve. I'm a little scared. Oh, it resolves. So I'm just going to hold this in hand. I know it's too good if the Rhinos have haste, but damn, I wish they had haste right about now. So my opponent presumably has 2 more copies of Solitary's Confinement. And maybe more than 1 copy of Regrowth. Noxious Revival instead. Sure. I can Abrupt Decay a Solitary Confinement at some point and win. I have green sources. That's okay. Opponent opted not to pay the 2. Seems wise. So now Squee plus Solitary Confinement is a soft lock. Oh, that is a shame. Green, black. Get him. Can't be countered. Okay. Bell Bombs. In. Ashiok. In. Unmoored Ego. In. Collective Brutality, eh. Probably not. Alright, Fatal Push, out. These things 100% need to stay in, these need to stay in. Discard's fine. Maelstrom Pulse is another out to a Solitary Confinement. Planeswalkers are good. Ooze is fine. Did I just trim a Shardless Agent? I could just trim a Shardless Agent. It's a little weird. You could also just play Collective Brutality as Duress. Most of the stuff that I hit with Shardless Agent is going to be good. These 5 cards can be situationally awkward, though. I don't know. Maybe I'll trim one of these. I don't know if that's correct. It feels okay to do so on the draw. I still think I want more than 1 land, despite the fact that this is a very good 1-land hand. I think this card is good enough where I keep this hand. Oh, that's a great draw. I want something to do on turn 2, so that I have a realistic chance of actually resolving Ashiok. I guess there's always Force of Negation to worry about, even if my opponent taps out for some stuff. Alright. We leave the basics. I fetch non-basics. I think I'm going to take Tomb first. That one's redundant. I have 2 of them. I want to... No, you know what? I will go ahead and just play that now. This is something that doesn't get Force of Negation. It opens up Ashiok, potentially be a follow-up play. Then I have 2 different ways of taxing the graveyard, and this also shuts off searching. So recursive fetch lands won't be good anymore. I think this is fine. Sure. I'm gonna actually have to read Search for Azcanta. It's been a while. I don't remember what the exact flip condition is. Number of cards in graveyard? Number 7 is standing out in my mind for some reason. Yeah, 7 or more cards in your graveyard. This is very good if it resolves. Nice. Not only like gets rid of a solitary confinement, it also just like keeps search. Oh, and Hyona. Oh, nice. So some fetch lands are off. One of my opponent's win conditions is gone. I'm somewhat surprised that my opponent didn't cycle in response to my Ashiok to try to find a force negation. But I don't know. They have a Loam. Maybe they value being able to get that back. Oh, that doesn't do what you want. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, there's the shame concession. I respect it. All right, you want to open that chest, YouTube? Let's open the chest. What did we win? Hitting a Modern Horizons 2 card is just so clutch right now. Empty the Catacombs, not it, but I'll take 20 play points. All right, overall thoughts on the deck list. The games where I was playing Magic were good, but the games that I weren't playing Magic were not good. I don't know that this deck is built properly as is. I think that Shardless Agent has enough bad hits against decks that don't have creatures in game 1 that it's sometimes really a gamble to cast it. I don't know how much I can do about that. I kind of want to play the full playset of Drown in the Locks. And I wouldn't hate having one more heavy-hitting threat in the deck. The deck's a little slow to close games when you don't have Tarmogoyf. Maybe Grimflare is something that could be worth considering. I don't know that this deck can afford Bob. I did a lot of self-damage even without Bob, so I feel pretty good about cutting that. Yeah, I think I want 2 more Drown in the Locks in the main deck. Maybe over. I don't know. Decay has its uses. I don't know. I would really have to sit down and think about this list. But I want more Drown in the Lock. As far as this sideboard goes, I felt like I had good access to things. Maybe I'm going overboard with 4x break the ice, but that card's strong. Like, we didn't play against Tron, but even against something like Infect, just having the ability to take out a critical land was important. Overall, I think this archetype is going to be worth exploring in Modern. I don't know that it's the most powerful thing around, but I think if you get something built right, it'll look pretty good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button. That sort of thing helps me out a lot. And I'm looking forward to playing some more Modern. Please consider throwing me a donation deck list if you're really a Modern fanatic and you regularly watch my content. Have a great rest of the day, folks.